Hey guys, now that we've drafted, I wanted to give you a little tutorial on some of the basics. First thing you want to do is go to your Yahoo Fantasy Football homepage, and from the Yahoo homepage, you can just go to Sports, and then should pop up with Fantasy Football. There it is, Fantasy. Click that, and then we'll want to log in. I'll go ahead and sign in. Alright, from the Fantasy Sports homepage, we'll go ahead and click into our league, PSA Gridiron Gang. Alright, and there's the homepage. And on the homepage, you got the matchups for the week. This is week one, and it shows who's playing who head to head, along with the projected points. This 107 is my projected points for the week against the Bolts. They're projected at having 109 points for the week. And you can see all the rest of the points there. Here's the standings once we start getting into winning and losing. This waiver numbers over here is the order at which we could pick up players. Let's say if Tom Brady gets put on waivers and somebody in the league wants to pick him up. If 3 or 4 people request a waiver for Tom Brady, the order is going to go to the lowest number, 1 being highest priority. So Brian will be able to pick up that person. Let's see. Setting your team for the league for the week, we'll go to my team and roster. All right, from the roster, this is all the people on my team. It shows all the starters are shown with the positions. All the bench players that are not going to play for us and give us any points for the week are BN. So you can see we got quarterback through WRT. That WRT stands for wide receiver, running back, or tight end. That's the only position that you can have any of those 3 categories start for you. You can have a wide receiver, running back, or tight end. That's called your flex position. You also got your kicker and your defense down here. In order to switch them out, let's say I got Martavius Bryant right here, and I know he's not going to get me any points for the week because he's suspended, and it shows that right in there. So in order to change a player and bring in one of my bench players, I'm going to click that position, and then all the possibilities that could come up is highlighted for you. So from there, I want to put Brandon Marshall in. So I'll go ahead and hit that, and then it switches them out. Alright, so as you can see, I got everybody in a position to earn points for the week, as well as my kicker and my defense. Alright, let's say I don't like a couple players on my team. Like I want to get rid of, let's see, let's say anybody in particular. I won't make anybody. Let's go to players up here and just hit players. And from here, you can sort. If you know you want to see if somebody's available, you can just put their name in. You can put the status. You can have all available players, or you want to see players from anybody's teams, or who are free agents or waivers. But typically, if you just leave all available players, you'll be good to go. You can narrow it down to position. So let's say if you just want a running back, you'll take away all offense. You'll just click the running back, and then you'll hit filter. And so what this is going to filter out and just show you all the running backs that are available. And if you want to know a little information about them, you can click on this little notepad right here, And for instance, Kareem Hunt, if we see what's up with him, it'll give us all his projections for each week. So week 1, he's projected to score 9.63 points, little over 10 for week 2, and almost 10 for week 3. So you should get the point. Over here, it gives a little bit of information as far as what's going on with that player, if the coaches sat him that week for practice for whatever reason, if his ankle's hurting or something like that. See, like right here, it gives a little advice in that section right there, so you can read all about it and decide if you want to get that player or not. All right, if you do decide that you want that player, you just hit the plus button right here, and that will add him to your team. Now, if you got an open spot on your team, it'll just go there automatically. If you don't have an open spot on your roster, what'll happen after you hit that plus, it'll give you a list of all players that you can get rid of. So that tells you can pick up this running back if you drop any one of your other players. And if you drop that player, he'll no longer be on your team. So consider that, like, if you want to pick up Kareem Hunt and then you decide to drop that bum Ezekiel Elliott, then realize that you're getting rid of him for good, and somebody else in our league might be able to pick him up. I don't know why, but they might. All right, so you close that out. That's how you, like, if you decide you want any one of these players, you hit the plus, and then it shows all the people. It shows him plus all the people that I can drop. I'll just hit that minus, and then that would drop whoever I chose and then pick up the guy I hit the plus on. But we're not going to do that because I don't want him. I'm not going to change him. All right, so back to all the players. If you decide you wanted to see the wide receivers, you'll change the position of wide receiver and hit the filter. Then you got all the wide receivers. And you got all these different stats over here to go by. Let's see. Anyway, if that's how you change players, if you choose to. If you hit matchups here, it'll pop up who you're playing. See, I'm playing Travis this week, and the projections changed because if you guys remember, I put Brandon Marshall in that spot for Martavius Bryant. So instead of having a projection of 106 or whatever it was that I had, it's now 115 because Marshall is actually scheduled to get me 8.5 points. All right, we're under matchups. You can compare. My quarterback should get 20 versus Russell Wilson's 18. My receivers 10, 8, and 8 versus his receivers 11, 9, and 9. My running back projected to get me 17 versus Dennis Johnson's 16. I think you get the picture. Anyway, that's all the starters. You can come down here and it'll show bench players. That way, like during the games, you can see maybe, Brandon Marshall's not doing well. He only got me 1 point. Whereas if I were to put Willie Snead in, he might be on, 15 points or something. You could slap yourself in the head for making a bad choice. But they will show the bench players' points accumulating as they get points. You just won't be allowed to use those points because you sat them on the bench. All right, let's see. Underneath their names here, you got different codes. This Q stands for questionable. That means it's not. They're not sure if those guys are going to play the game or not. If you open up the notepad, it'll tell you why. Over in the statuses over here, and it shows that Jordan Reach is questionable because of a toe injury that he had. Sometimes when they're questionable, they'll play. Sometimes they won't. It depends on the decisions that they make. Let's see. There's so much information here you guys can play around with, but basically I wanted to show you how to change players since we just got finished with the draft, and you guys may want to swap out some guys. let's see. I think that might be it for now. If I think of anything else, I'll make another video. I think the video was best to go with other than a text message, because you can actually see what I'm doing on here. Alright, if you guys get any questions, hit me up.